Hello, I'm Devika. Okay, talking about UGC model. Um, now, let the abbreviation of UGC is University Grant Commission. Now, we mostly are like our entire nation is mostly under the UGC guidelines. The UGC was established in 1956. Uh, it is under the Ministry of Education, the government of India. It maintains and coordinates and determines structure in the educational system as a whole. It primarily looks in the higher education. To simply put into words, the UGC is a regulator and a guide for all universities. It's a benchmark for every university, primarily. It decides on higher education functions and ensures quality. The NEP, the NAC, everything comes under the UGC guidelines. Um, Next slide, please. Yeah, so the functions of UGC would be formulating policies. Policies and regulation. What it means is it makes policies for higher education. We as well as any other bachelor's program would be under the UGC guidelines. It's under the National Education Policy 2020, NEP 2020. The funds it funds universities. Funding and grants basically talks about financial assistance. So every grant, for example, if a person has qualified UGC NET or UGC SET, it comes under the UGC guidelines where they will be funded, as well as the PhD programs. The PhD programs is also funded by the UGC. Quality assistance, so NAC, National Assessment and Accreditation Council. These NAC is basically giving grades and giving a certain authority to these universities, and UGC handles a lot of the guidelines to for the NAC association to take under consideration. Curriculum development. The curriculum development normally now most colleges have become autonomous, but it still goes under the UGC guidelines. So even the curriculum is developed according to how the UGC guidelines have made fruition. It's flexible learning. It's also there's also credit-based learning that UGC takes under consideration. For example, our own college has a roster website where we can take credentials apart from our own academic pursuits. So that is coming under the UGC guideline. Faculty development. As the faculty is run under the UGC NET qualification. Most professors need a UGC qualification as well as a PhD credential. If not, at least a UGC NET or a SET is primarily looked upon. Next slide, please. Okay, so before go back. Okay, before going to the NIEPA, let me talk about the structure of UGC. The UGC is an amalgamation of formal as well as a collegial aspect of hierarchical structure or model. There's a clear hierarchy. There's governments established, as well as a collegial aspect to it, where academic freedom and shared discussion making is given into consideration. Next slide. Okay, the NIEPA model. What is an NIEPA model? The NIEPA model is basically talking about educational planning. It's not coming under higher education. It is the educational planning in itself. For example, teachers, the administrators, they come under NIEPA. NIEPA, the abbreviation is National Institute of Educational Planning and Administration. It talks about the planning and leadership of school levels, as well as national educational systems. Um, in short, it trains people to manage education, like principals, headmasters, educational officers, teachers, etc. Next slide, please. Okay, the functions of NIEPA model is evidence-based planning. Now, evidence-based planning talks about how the government or the establishment can help in formulating few curriculums, ideas, structures. It's data-based collection of information. For example, preparing an annual work plan, or Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan. It also, Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan is, Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan comes under that. Leadership training. So NIEPA enforces leadership training to all facilities, or all governing bodies. They are the ones who take care of the quality assessment of every institution. Supports decentralization. It does not come under the government system. It's not under the and it's not coming under UGC. UGC is under the centralized governing system, but NIEPA is apart from that. They also look into the governing system as well. Then data-driven decision making, like I said, it looks into the database system, how they monitor enrollments as well. They'll have infrastructure checkups, quality assessments, etc. They've also developed UDISE plus. Next slide, please. Okay, the roles and functions on NIEPA: training, educational administration, that would be teachers, HODs, principals, any body which comes under the educational system. Research and policy governance and quality. When we talk about that, we talk about how it affiliates with research based quality assessment. They are assessing people for training and developing new curriculums, etc. Consistency of to governments and international agencies. They are going under the entire system, where they also want to collaborate with international agencies, like our credential system that would be developed primarily by the NIEPA, where we get extra credentials, and when we translate our credentials to the international agencies, it translates properly. Supports DPEP, SAA and RET implementation. Promotes equality, inclusion, and decentralization. It primarily looks upon the discriminational aspect. So if there is a discrimination in the industry or an institute, NIEPA is the one who is going to look into those characteristics. Developing educational leadership and capacity building. So it also functions apart from the UGC. It goes hand in hand with UGC as well, but apart from UGC, it also looks into the infrastructural and leadership qualities of the institute. Offers MPhil. MPhil is now scrapped, but it also used to look into MPhil and PhD in educational planning and administration. It integrates ICT and innovation and education. In education, it looks into the educational system in a very holistic and developmental aspect of it. It wants to integrate technology in our educational system. That is their primary goal. Um, Next slide. Okay, this is the comparison of the entire aspect of the models. The first model would be the formal one. The nature is bureaucratic, democratic, mixed, and planning based. So the formal one would be bureaucratic, the collegial one will be democratic, the UGC one will be mixed, and the NIEPA would be planning based. Decision making would be the formal one is centralized, the collegial one is shared, the UGC is a policy based model, and the NIEPA is data driven. Um,
Devika, last 2 minutes remaining.
Yes, this is the last slide. The focus would be control. The formal one would have been control. The collegial one will be teamwork. The UGC one would be quality and standard, and the NIEPA would be leadership. The examples would be school for formal would be school hierarchy, the collegial one would be staff meetings, the UGC one would be UGC grants, and the NIEPA would be the NIEPA training. um, uh, with this I will conclude my presentation. Thank you for being so participant. Thank you.